Hey guys, it's Hink here. And so there's some things that we have to kind of get back to basics on. And one of the things that I want to talk about is basically the things that you need to know before doing any kind of enlargement, or even if you're in the midst of it, you have to kind of stop and reassess everything. And that's what we're going to get into today. Many of these are things that I've said before in the past. I've said most of these things over and over again, but I just want to reiterate some of these several key important pieces of this. The first thing is that you need to make sure that it's worth it to you. Guys, I can't tell you how many times that I have said there's no good in having a bigger D if it doesn't work. None of this is risk-free. Overall, guys, I think that this is a very low risk, especially if you do it correctly and you listen to the right people, that you're actually at a pretty low risk of any kind of injury. However, it's not zero risk. Guys, it's no different than bench pressing. You might watch a guy bench pressing and you're like, oh, I want to try bench pressing, have the correct form, and you could still tear a pec muscle. But instead of a pec muscle that can heal, there's some guys that will injure their D. And sometimes it can be permanent. When you are on these forums and you are looking at people that have injured themselves, take it very seriously and really assess if it's worth it to you. For me, when I first started this, I would have done absolutely anything. Keep in mind that was short of surgery or any kind of extreme injections or anything, to try to get bigger, okay? And I hopped into things and, I'm going to talk about that a little later. But guys, you have to know that this is not a risk-free avenue, okay? You need to try to do things as safely as possible, but even if you're safe, things can still go wrong. And along with that, you have to make sure that this is worth it to you in the sense of the realistic gains. People will go out here and promise, oh yeah, I think you can get an inch in a year. I don't think that's the case, and I have said that for years now. I think if you're lucky, you can get a half an inch in length in a year and a quarter inch in girth in a year. Not necessarily if you're lucky, but if you're consistent, I think those are somewhat realistic goals to achieve. Now, if you think to yourself, oh, a half an inch in a year or a quarter inch, that's not worth it to me, then I don't think you should be doing this because it's not worth the potential risk, guys. But if you're like, man, a half an inch, that would change my life, and you have things like severe dysmorphophobia, or you have these real penile issues where the size of your D is affecting your life, then those are the people that I think are more appropriate for this. But we're going to get into that a little bit more. And guys, along with this, I don't care what anybody says. There's published literature showing that it is possible to increase, at the very least, increase the length of your penis, even though there's published literature showing that you can increase the length and the girth of your penis through non-surgical means. So here's a paper here, guys. This is applying extenders in patients with penile dysmorphophobia, okay? So it's not like the guys with Peyronie's disease. It is normal men that feel like they have small penises that use an extender, and in 6 months, the average gains that they got was 1.7 centimeters flaccid, 1.3 centimeters stretched, and 1.2 centimeters in erect length, and all of those were significant. I don't know who these people are. Oh, penis enlargement is a scam. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, that might be the case, but there's literally published medical literature that you can find on PubMed. This is just one paper, guys. So it does work. The next thing you need to know is you need to research, and then research some more, okay? Guys, don't be like me. I saw one Derek More Plates, More Dates video. Callie, please include the link up there for guys that want to watch it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I trust Derek More Plates, More Dates. And I hopped on and I basically ordered whatever he said to order, and that's how I started. And that was stupid, okay? I also found guys like Good Looking Loser who had these dangerous manual stretching techniques where you would wrap your D around there, or grab and pull and from side to side and helicopter and do all these crazy things. And by the grace of God, I had some common sense and I took things slowly, and I didn't pursue some of those more aggressive techniques. And then it was only then that I started coming into the scene and seeing the things that these people were doing, and that was dangerous. And I said, wow, I want to be one of the guys to try to change that, okay? And that's why I've researched, and guys, I'm still learning today. So if you are interested in this, you need to go through the techniques. You need to learn, jelking, for example, always comes up. Guys, that's dangerous. I've said it before. I think that is one of, pound for pound, the most dangerous exercises there is. It's a dynamic exercise, and I coach guys all the time that have injuries through doing things like jelking. You need to research the technique you're interested in, learn about it, learn what are the risks, what are the benefits, what are the guys that do this technique getting injured. So if you're using a vacuum cap and you're extending and you get blisters, that is a significant injury. No, it's not a debilitating injury, but it's something. You need to learn, okay, what are different people saying about using vibration techniques versus not using vibration or using heat. You need to do your research and actually go through and try to even make like a little worksheet, say like, okay, these are the techniques I'm interested in. Here are kind of the objective findings that I can find behind them. Here are the risks. And you need to know all that before you get started. You can't just be an idiot like me and watch one video by one guy and just hop right into it and then get lucky and not get injured. So guys, you also need to learn the real size statistics. I don't care what anybody says, and I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments, and I welcome it. The comments help the algorithm, allegedly. Guys, the average penis is between 5.2 to 5.5 inches bone pressed. Period. The end of story. There's been countless published literature, if you believe in that kind of thing, showing that that is in fact the average size. So all you people that, oh, I don't believe that. I've been in locker rooms and I've seen guys. You're wrong and you're stupid for that take, okay? Because it's really bad. There's published literature and experts and urologists and studies from across the globe that all show that the average range is within that same windows. Guys, of course they're outliers. So if you're watching porn and you see a bunch of well-endowed dudes, yes, those are all the outliers in that field. It's like the average height being, what, like 5'9" for a man, and then watching the NBA. Like, yeah, of course, those guys, they're all outliers. They're the elite of the elite. Before you start thinking that, you know, man, I'm not enough, the size of my D is not enough, you really need to watch my other videos about like what is average, or even the videos where I break down how guys lie about the real size that they actually are. And they add about an inch on average on self-reported data. So you really need to know that. And also you need to know some of the facts about flaccid size, guys, because there's growers and there's showers, and there's no correlation between growers and showers and the actual size of the erect penis. So if you haven't seen my video on that, check it out as well. But you got to stop feeling bad because you have a perfectly average penis, meaning that, well, I mean, you guys know what the definition of average is, but it's not small, it's not big, no, but it's perfectly normal. And you guys need to stop freaking out about it and thinking that you're not enough. Guys, I've made videos about the average size of like the women's genitalia. The average size of a vaginal canal is about 3 inches unaroused, and in the aroused, it's about 5 inches. The average D is bigger than the average aroused vaginal canal, okay? So just keep that in mind, guys. That is a medical fact. And guys, you really need to try to maximize yourself in other ways before you start doing any of this. So you need to maximize, I always say, your physical fitness, okay? Your financial fitness. Learn a new skill, learn a new trade, learn how to be charming, charismatic, learn a new language. All of these things, if you're trying to attract the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever, all of these things can help you get that date, because I guarantee you, person who cares more about the size of your D is yourself. Most women are not size queens. Most women are not looking for these gigantic hogs. And guys, I have an entire video. It's one of the earliest videos I did about science that actually proves the size women want, okay? Check out that video too. And guys, I don't know how many fudging times I have to say this. The most at risk you are for an injury is when you first get started. So you need to take it slower than last time, to quote my guy, Greg Douchette. You need to take things slow and apply. If you're going to do something like manual stretches, apply the smallest amount of pressure. Just get a little stretch in there and just kind of feel how things feel and make sure you're not getting injured, and let yourself condition. Guys, I made a whole video about like the collagen stretch response, okay? You need to check that out, but it actually shows like in blood vessels that your blood vessels can actually adapt to the pressure. You can actually build collagen that'll actually decrease your risk of injury moving forward, okay? Now, mostly here we're talking about vascular injury, but even things like your nerve tissue as well. The most at risk you're going to be is when you have an unconditioned nerve and you pull and you stretch it. Guys, I even have made several freaking videos and posts previously about how the stretch injury in nerves, in the corpus cavernosal nerves, they dissected in rats. It takes hardly any force to actually cause significant trauma to that nerve. So you guys need to be careful out there, okay? It is not worth getting injured. So guys, please be careful. Please be smart out there. Take things slow and just really assess if this is worth it to you, as I have said from the beginning, guys, because you only get one D, and I promise you there is more to life than the size of your D. I promise you that, guys, and that's why I say at the end of my videos, you are enough just the way you are. All right, guys, but along with that, remember, there's nothing wrong with self-improvement, okay? Be the best version of yourself, whatever form that may be, okay? Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Until the next one, all the ways to support me, guys, are in the links below. If you want a step-by-step guide on basically how to get bigger based on my takes and my interpretation of the research. Okay, guys, catch you in the next one. Peace and love.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health, yeah. Got you thinking about your wealth, yeah. In his office, no stealth, yeah. Pinnacle of that below the belt, yeah. Checks and balance, he's managing. Working miracles, no damage. Got you covered, no panicking. Steady calm. In the clinic, no vanishing. Yeah.